Parked at the north side of the field on the property, so looking down south to the river, and we're going to go across and look at this really cool old homestead on the property. A little bit windy, and I forgot my microphone, so I hope the wind noise doesn't pick up too much in the video. And I'm going to see if I can find a place to get across this fence. There's an old barn up there that's just off the property, so if you get to the old barn, you went just a little too far. But what is on the property is the actual old homestead and house site. And I really haven't seen much of this at all, so I'm really excited. I've been excited all day to get out here. I just wish it was sunny. So you can see some of the walls. And I've talked to a few people around here, and the theory is that this has been a home site probably, you know, pre-Civil War, and that the house would have originally had a rock foundation, and then they probably upgraded to concrete when that was, you know, basically invented years later. But if you look at some of the stonework, you'll see that there was a massive amount. Oh, look at that. There's a well here. You know, I think one of the guys mentioned that. They came and checked this place out. But first I want to take a look at some of these rock walls. Civil War era rock walls. You can see the stacked rock there. I have a feeling it won't show up that well in the video, but it's really impressive. And it starts over here. And there you can see the telltale yucca plants that you find on the old Ozark homesteads. People would plant the yucca plants everywhere and use them for different medicines. They'd always plant them by the home site. So if you're going through the woods and out of nowhere you see a patch of yuccas, there's a home site there. So here, look at this rock path that goes up. Some type of pathway or driveway. I mean, and it goes all the way down. All these big cedars and everything else is grown up, but it extends at least 100 feet. Oh, it'd be fun to restore this, the original pathway to the house. All the man hours it would have taken to move all these rocks. It looks like it continues on. And as we look up, we can see some really pretty rocks. Here's a good example of old stonework. I mean, that is just great. Those bricks are obviously much newer, but these stones, I mean, look at the moss and the lichen on those. So now the house and the house site itself is really interesting. It's kind of a two-level deal. Truck going by on the county road, and they more or less built it into the hillside. I don't know what it was some type of two-story setup that they had, I guess. Built directly into the hillside, super cool. And overlooking that river bottom, the truck is still parked on the other side of the road. But obviously the land rises up over here, and it gets pretty steep after this. And we'll do a video on the north end as well of the property so you can see that. But I mean, here's something super cool. Enormous oak tree. How big is this? That's over 30 inches across. So this is probably, I could be wrong, but this is probably a tree that was in their yard. I mean, this is probably a Civil War era oak tree. That could definitely be 200 years old. Ow. As I say that, there's one even bigger down there. We've done zero cleanup on this, so we have no idea what you're going to run into, but you'll probably unearth some more original stonework. You'll definitely find some cool stuff. Oh, this oak tree is one of the biggest I've ever seen. That is almost 40 inches diameter. Wow, that would be fun to have someone do a core sample and they could tell you how old that is without having to chop it down. Because that was probably one of the witnesses to the Civil War troops and Civil War battle in the area. We were so excited to find this little site. And like I mentioned, the concrete is more modern. That could be, I guess, early 1900s. But when you look at the rock walls and the rock structure and what looks like an actual partial rock foundation under the house itself, that's what's leading us to believe that this building site predates these concrete walls. Now let's look at this well, because I wasn't even aware of this until one of the guys that was checking this out for us, he said it had a coffee can on it. Let's find a little pebble. Yep, there's water in there. I know absolutely nothing about that other than that there's clearly water in there, and then maybe they went down 20-30 feet and hit a spring and put the pipe in, but we don't know much about that at all. And I might have to cut it off here. Oh, look at that. Chamberlain's. Broken top on it. We found another cool bottle out here. Or I guess one of the guys did. When they were out here, some kind of milk pellets. And they dated it to the early 1900s. But I mean, there's more of the rock wall type area. It looks like some old rock steps. Talk about a unique property. I don't know if obviously this foundation's in rough shape, but surely there'd be some way to incorporate it into a new design, or maybe redo some of the walls. It'd just be so cool to rebuild a structure like this. Have your vacation site just absolutely unique. And I mean, you've got direct frontage on the Bryant Creek, tucked in up here. Presumably they're high and dry, and that's why they picked this for a building site. That bottom field obviously would not be high and dry, being adjacent to a river. But if you wanted to be 100% sure you're high and dry, you could build on the north end of the property. It does have county road access on the north side, so you wouldn't have to put a road in up here. Look at all the mature timber. Wow. Big cedar trees. There are monstrous pine trees on this property, but the granddaddy is that 40-inch diameter oak tree. That's amazing. I'm gonna have to Google that and see how old a 40-inch diameter oak tree is. So we never got any sunshine, but we did get to look at this. I usually take pictures while I'm videoing, but I got so excited I didn't get any. That's okay. I'll cut the video off and I'll take pictures on my own time here. But yeah, this is a must explore property. Just gorgeous. Oh, here's something interesting. I didn't notice this until just this second. So part of the wall, maybe all the wall, at some point they had a rudimentary, like a mortar between the stones. but a lot of it is long since deteriorated. Man, it would be fun to clean this place up and really see what's there. That is the acreage on Bryant Creek with the original homestead, Douglas County, Missouri.